When I was a kid growing up on Staten Island, my mother and father would pack the 5 of us into the back of my father's jalopy, and like little sausages. And we'd get ready for our monthly hijira over to Lower East Side, which is where we were from. Grandma and Grandpa didn't want to have anything to do with the country. So we stayed on Staten Island. They stayed in Lower Manhattan. And we didn't know whether we were going to get the Gold Star Mother ferry, the American Legion ferry, or the Mary Murray ferry. But we would try to guess and then hop on the boat, go up to the top deck, and wait for it. The boat's pulling out. You could see her in the distance. Yeah, the Statue of Liberty, right? And as many times as we went over to visit Grandma and Grandpa, and there were hundreds of them, we could not wait to see Lady Liberty. We call her the Statue of Liberty, but I prefer her original name, Liberty Enlightening the World. Yeah, that's what her sculptor called her after the French Revolution, right? And she's got quite a job to do, and I'm thinking, who are the messengers to help Lady Liberty do her job? Teachers. Teachers are the acolytes, the messengers. They get their tapers, get her flame, share it, bring it into the classroom, inspire, and ignite the flame of knowledge for their students. Liberty Enlightening the World means what? She has her tablet, 1776, okay, freedom. How do we free our students? We illuminate them and eliminate ignorance. That's what teachers do. Over 50 years ago, I began my teaching career on 218th Street in Manhattan. And in those days, I was in the Army of the Christian Brothers. I had just studied Latin and Greek and graduated from Catholic University. And the first assignment I got was to a 5th grade classroom in Manhattan. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, I learned how to teach high school. How am I going to teach 5th grade? So I got into my room the first day, and there was even another shock waiting for me. I had 43 students. And by the way, we have report cards every 2 weeks. Okay. All right, so innovation and education. Let's see where this is going to take me. I lasted about 2.5 weeks. And after school, I was despondent, sitting at my desk. One of my colleagues, Delia Grano, I haven't seen her since, but I remember her as my angel, the messenger from Lady Liberty. And she said to me, would you like some help? I said, yes. I learned how to teach 10-year-olds, and I stayed there for 3 years, and I loved those kids. And what I learned from them became the bedrock of my teaching career over the next 50 years. Trust the messenger. You never know who the messenger is going to be. I don't know if you're aware of this, but every year now, there's like kind of a laureate degree for Global Teacher of the Year. It's kind of like the Nobel Prize. And it began 3 years ago, and it was awarded to an American. She was one of the 6 finalists. The prize, $1 million. Nancy Atwell received $1 million, and she deserved it. Reading the story of Nancy Atwell is like reading the story of Francis of Assisi or Ignatius Loyola. People who on a sickbed or deathbed had this illumination on how to make the world better. Nancy had rheumatic fever. She read, she read, she read. She developed a literacy program, took it to Maine. It wasn't working where she was teaching as a young teacher. And for over 40 years, her students chose their books, their assessments, and their schedules. Most of her students wind up in the Ivy League schools. What's different? She included her students in their own education. Trust the messenger. Now, we're looking for that silver bullet today to make things better, and we have a lot of good-willed people trying to do it. But the word innovation can be scary. If you're talking about gimmicks, you're talking about computers, okay, all good and all well and good, but what's the heart of teaching? What's the core? We call it Common Core. Core means heart. Well, the first Common Core curriculum was the Iliad. Homer. The second, the Bible. Those were the books that people used. And what did they do with students? They taught them rhetoric, how to think, how to read, how to write, most of all, how to present yourself. Whoever said the reason you should go to college is to get a job? What a nutty idea that is. Okay? You should go to college for the liberal education it gives you. It frees you. That's what liberal means in the liberal arts. It frees you to be a human being. What do human beings do? They take charge of their lives and they contribute to the common good. I had the ability to read about Nancy's life, as I said, and I also found out that on the day after her $1 million award, she went on CNN. Always a tricky situation, okay, but she did. And the first thing the ladies asked her was, by the way, congratulations, Nancy Atwell. What would you advise young people who want to go into the teaching profession today to do? Without taking a breath, she said, I wouldn't advise young people to go into teaching today. Go into business, make some money. The teaching profession, look at the way people talk about teachers. And I'm thinking, Nancy, you're the Global Teacher of the Year. Why are you saying that? Let's talk about leadership. Let's talk about teachers as leaders. Go back to the torch. Get some more fire. Okay. I always liked that story from Henry V. The bard could always spin a good yarn, and we don't know how much of it is apocryphal. But he's at the Battle of Agincourt, and he's looking at his ragtag men, and it's not looking good. Okay, they're emaciated, okay, they're down, they're depressed. He's sitting on his high horse, okay, and he says, all right, men, he goes, and you know this, right? We few, we happy few, we band of brothers. He who sheds his blood with me today shall be my brother. What? The king adopted all of his men into his family because they chose to fight with him. They chose to suffer. He's taking a second look and he's thinking, I haven't convinced everybody. I better say something else. This is my own version. And he says, well, you know, now there are people going to bed tonight in England thinking, I wish I had gone to fight with the king. I'm so sorry I didn't. But I'm glad somebody else did. But we know what that's like. He takes another look and he says, I gotta bring this home. So he says, all right. He said, you know what today is? Today is St. Crispin's Day. Every year there's a St. Crispin's Day. Every year when we go home from this horrible war, you'll be able to say, I fought with the king on St. Crispin's Day. Look, I have my scars. I have my wounds to show you. The king says, I'm going to give you bragging rights for the rest of your life because you're fighting with me today. Teachers are suffering servants. When I go around speaking to teachers and the new teachers graduating from graduate school, I see anticipation and anxiety. To the veteran teachers in the school districts and in the colleges, I see despondency and depression. And I say, where's the spark that made you become a teacher? When I was back at that classroom on 218th Street, I thought I should have been a pharmacist because that's originally what I was going to do. I can't teach 43 kids. And then I found out I guess I could. So I'm trusting the messenger, and I'm asking you to do the same thing with teachers. And I think Nancy has since backed down a little bit. She's a wonderful woman and deserves all that she gets. But I think she kind of realized that she shocked all of the teaching profession by telling them to go into business. So there's good news. We have people now inspiring the students in the classroom. Back on Staten Island for a minute. We're sitting on the stoop at the end of a day of hard play, cowboys and Indians. And we're looking up at the moon, and we knew there was going to be an American on the moon someday. We didn't know how that was going to happen, but we were optimistic. As children, we were optimistic about ourselves, our families, and our country. You go to school today, kids that coming in their classroom, they're looking down, they're despondent. Okay. What do teachers do? They get that gleam from the statue, and they touch the heart and mind of each student in their classroom. They're going to suffer because of it, because the learner may not want to learn yet, and we have to figure out how to do that. We're the professionals, okay? We're the silver bullet. Teachers are the silver bullet for helping students learn. I was at my, you don't go to a barbershop anymore, you go to a salon now, right? And you don't have a barber, you have a stylist. So before the holidays, I'm getting ready for my holiday tonsure, and my stylist likes to make small talk. It's funny, the stylists have become like the bartenders of old. After 2 minutes, you're spilling your guts to this perfect stranger. And she says to me, well, what kind of a day did you have today? And I said, I had a wonderful day, but I said, my students are getting kind of antsy for the holidays. She said, oh, you're a teacher? I said, yeah. She said, what do you teach? I said, I teach Latin. She goes, Latin? She said, my daughter is at middle school, and she's getting ready to sign up for a language for high school. I said, oh. I said, what is she going to take? She said, well, her father and I want her to take Spanish. I said, okay. But she wants to take French. We don't want her to take French. I said, why not? She says, that's not very practical. I said, well, why does she want to take French? She said, and the woman lit up. She said, ever since she's a little kid, she'd put on the high heels, throw a bow around her neck, and go like this and make believe she was speaking French. I said, wow, your daughter is the messenger. What is she telling you? She's excited about something. And you know what? Here's my prediction. If you and your husband support her, that glimmer of excitement is going to spill over into all of her other subjects. How about this? Tell her she can take French. When she gets to the end of her high school years, send her over to France with her teacher and her class. She said, what a great idea, thank you. Trust the messenger. Sometimes the messenger is the student. I had the opportunity to teach maximum security inmates in the Mid-Hudson prison for about 5 years for Marist College. And I was always amazed at how smart my students were. Because, inmates have this rap, high school dropout. Well, here's an alarming statistic. They weren't high school dropouts. They weren't even middle school dropouts. They were elementary school dropouts. And those statistics disappeared. Nobody intervened until they came into prison. The first night of my class, Interpersonal Communication, I always wanted to know why the students signed up for my class and not for another class. So I would say, why are you here? No, not why are you here, but like, why are you here? And we'd go around the room, and you'd hear the usual thing. I want to look good before the parole board. Okay, fair enough. My mom's always wanted me to go to school. I want to please her. I passed my GED. Okay. The next to the last student stands up and he says, Mr. G, can you teach me to have an intelligent conversation with people? I can't do that. The other students, they were like speechless. Yeah, that's why you go to school. You educate yourself, you free yourself, and then you go into society and make those contributions to the world. If we believe in the original meaning of education, to lead out, okay, then we got to stop cramming stuff into the kids that we think is good for them. And they need to be part of what they want to learn, how they want to learn, and how they will be assessed. Now, Nancy, we gave her a little rough ride tonight, but up in Maine, her kids choose their own books, they choose their own assessments, and they do very well because they're invested in the process. What did Mozart say in The Magic Flute? Wake up and see that you have fallen from the stars. Already, that flame which the ancients thought contained the divinity, okay, will take root in the students that we teach. Santa Fe, holy fire, okay, that's what's going to ignite the rest of the world. When those students have the freedom to participate in their own lives and then extend that to the larger community. Thank you.